Greetings and good day. So nice. Had to greet you twice. I am Sun Ryan Crucial here with Crucial Holistic Services. And today we're doing a Q&A in regards to hypnosis, self-hypnosis, where any questions that one might ask in regards to preparing for their hypnosis session or even just having a cursory interest in hypnosis and hypnotherapeutics might be to ask. And we have some top questions that we'll be going over today. But first and foremost, I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I've studied hypnotherapy for about 2 years and have been a Reiki practitioner for some time longer. I'm interested in hypnotherapy in its subtle and expansive ability to shift and help change the human experience, both in terms of creating new sensations and possibilities for a person in their life, as well as very pragmatic qualities and uses of hypnosis regarding relieving of pain or even anxieties. Hypnosis really has a full range of possibilities and, of course, limitations therein. And we're going to talk about some of those today as we go over some of your top asked questions. So with that, let's jump right in. So oftentimes when people ask, what is hypnosis, right? What is, if you're really coming at it as green as possible, or you've just heard about your friend who recently lost a whole bunch of weight that they'd been attempting to for some time, and it finally happened for them when they started to engage a hypnotherapist. And maybe you heard a story like that or know of someone who has experienced such. And with that, knowing what hypnosis is, and you can look it up, and of course there are many interpretations of hypnosis, but essentially it is moving into a relaxed state where the conscious mind is aware and present. However, the stimuli has shifted in such a way that the person can more deeply allow themselves to truly relax and become receptive, become suggestible. And what the hypnotherapist would be doing during that process is facilitating the change or the desired reorientation of thought, habit, or practice that the person is of course coming to them for their services. With that, the hypnotherapy is a adjunct to the use of hypnosis. Hypnosis is the tool. Hypnotherapy is the process of utilizing that tool. So, but for those of you who know what hypnosis is or have some idea, and we've all experienced hypnosis, and we'll get to that as we move along, but you've experienced hypnosis even today, right? And how common it is. It's a very common aspect of our human experience. But more importantly, what does hypnosis feel like? Maybe as we talk about what it feels like, you'll be able to ascertain for yourself where you've experienced it. But essentially, as I mentioned before, it's a deep state of relaxation, where participants have reported physical sensations, and there can even be such physical alterations as a decrease in blood pressure, relaxation of muscle tension, easing of pain, all based on this deep, relaxed, and restful state that hypnosis both utilizes and creates, or at least facilitates. Now, there are many subtleties that start to be heightened in the hypnotic state. Oftentimes, the hypnotherapist, or even in your own practice of self-hypnosis, you will engage it through closed eyes. That once we close the eyes, so many message units begin to shift in regards to all the information we're receiving. When you close your eyes, you could try it right now for just a moment if you'd like. But by closing your eyes, you might notice that the sounds around you become a little more articulate or a little louder, maybe more easy to focus on. And that's basically in part because you're not focused on all the things you're seeing, right? The conscious mind might only pick up pieces in the environment, but there's so much more that really we can experience and the eyes take in. So in regards to what hypnosis feels like, it does vary from person to person, but ultimately it's a somewhat daydreamy, relaxed, kind of in and out of focus, consciously of a state. And it feels very easy and relaxing. And though there may be some potential time dilation that happens, ultimately it is a perfectly safe, altered state of awareness. Now, of course, another question therein is, all right, so hypnosis. So this thing that some people are affected by, and maybe everyone, how does it really work? What is it? And how can it be used in hypnotherapeutics? And essentially, it is hypnosis itself, again, to articulate, is separate from hypnotherapy. You can experience hypnosis and not necessarily be receiving immediate therapeutic value, which maybe some of us could use some time to daydream and think of what we might like rather than what we feel is. However, that in and of itself is not necessarily therapy. It may be, but with hypnotherapeutics, hypnosis is being used to specifically create a shift in perspectives of experiences, allow a person to change in their behavior and habits. So hypnosis does those things through hypnotherapeutics or even through self-hypnosis. One can change their mind. They can change where they focus themselves, what they focus on, what they may even fixate on. That means both physiological changes in regards to changing things like smoking, right? Smoking cessation or changing diet, and being able to keep with that and feel confident about that choice. That can create physiological changes. And then, of course, psychological changes, right? And then maybe some spiritual changes therein as well, if one is inclined. However, under that, hypnosis does work, right? Hypnosis is a means of making lasting changes when a person is truly ready to make those changes and is looking for the guidance and assistance to make them in a most streamlined way as possible. Things such as certain diseases and medical etiologies have to, of course, be referred in and with a general practitioner or a specialist therein. Hypnotherapy is predominantly utilized for vocational and avocational practices, other than at the clinical level, which is moving into psychotherapy and working with diagnosable disorders, challenges, and beyond. So within a certified hypnotherapist or a technical hypnotherapist, they would be working on changing behaviors in the terms of work function or being present in your life, engaging the habits that you would choose for yourself that would be most beneficial, stopping smoking or vaping, changing, again, diet, or even things such as pain management and irritable bowel syndrome, or certain forms of workout fatigue. Right? These things can be altered and adjusted, and even anesthesia within dentistry and natal care. So more specifically, what about you, right? How does hypnotherapy work with you, and what will you benefit from it? And can you even be hypnotized? And as I had mentioned before, being a dreamy, relaxed-like state, we've all experienced that at one time or another. Maybe not so directly facilitated by a hypnotherapist or even a stage hypnotist, sort of entertainer who uses hypnosis as a tool, not for necessarily therapy, but for entertainment purposes. Many people, can I be hypnotized? Is it just for play? And again, you've experienced hypnosis already. It's already something and a part of your life in the notion of sleep. When you go to sleep at night, that's a sort of altered state of awareness where you're deeply relaxed, hopefully. And if not, that's one thing, again, that hypnotherapy can facilitate: sleep and changing some of those altered states and awarenesses. Driving home. If you've ever driven the same route home time and time again, and you sort of put the radio on, maybe a podcast or a station that you enjoy some music, and maybe a phone call, and all of a sudden you're home. You didn't even notice the traffic or the lights as they went by. You kind of went into a sort of autopilot. And these things all indicate a hypnotic-like state. So, of course, you can be hypnotized. And in regards to people who have experienced hypnosis or through hypnotherapy or even stage hypnosis, and they said, it was, I don't know if I was really hypnotized. I don't know if it was just, a certain experience. Maybe I was very relaxed, but I wasn't really hypnotized. That, of course, can be a bit of misinformation, whether the hypnotherapist didn't convey appropriately what that experience might be like, or in a way that the client understood and could really appreciate that, yeah, I did have some of those experiences. Or just that there wasn't enough rapport, right, within a given hypnotherapist. And definitely knowing how to choose a hypnotherapist and decide what works for you, someone that you can trust and that you can connect with, is very important in the process of achieving those goals that you're setting forth. So can you be hypnotized? It's really the question of, yes, can you? Are you willing to engage and utilize the tool of hypnosis to your benefit? And if so, then definitely you can. So as I've mentioned a few times, hypnosis is an altered state of consciousness. It is a shift in the conscious awareness when you're moving about, and this goes into the concept of brainwave states. Right, that's a video for another time to go into brainwave states, and I encourage you to check out Crucial Holistic Services and Crucial Holistic Networks video content, so you can get a further detailed explanation of some of these concepts that we bring up in this FAQ. But altered states of consciousness are just shifts in awareness, right? Again, that daydreamy, relaxed state indicates the brain waves have altered, right? That one has gone from a more focused brainwave state, which is to say maybe reading or doing something engaged, to a more imaginative or dreamy, relaxed state, which may be more like alpha, lighter, higher wavelength. And again, I encourage you to look into the brainwave states, because you'll start to notice those different states, and your hypnotherapist can assist you in understanding those altered states of awareness. But we go through those all the time, especially before sleep. You'll start to notice maybe drifting thoughts as you go to rest, and maybe some venting of things from the day. And all of that is moving through into different brainwave states. All right, the safety of hypnosis. This is very important. Hypnosis is perfectly safe. It's a natural phenomenon. Again, you experience it all the time. So utilizing it, learning to control it, is simply just delving into more of what you already have access to, who you already are and what you can already do, what you've always done. You're just learning to hone it and focus it in a way that serves you best. And of course, guidance is appreciated, especially a trained therapist who knows how to facilitate that path of creating the desired outcomes of one's life in so many ways. Now, of course, within the safety, we have to talk about the notion of, am I under control from someone else? Is the hypnotherapist or the stage hypnosis practitioner a taking control and creating an altered state against will? And of course not. You are in absolute control with hypnosis. It is your own bodily process that, again, a person is just guiding you along. And if ever you wanted to get up from the chair and kind of move about, you would be able to. However, just like when you're sitting comfortably on the couch, watching TV or reading a book, and you're sitting there comfortably, you don't necessarily want to get up. You could, you have the ability to, but it's your choice to focus on the task at hand. And in the case of hypnotherapy, the task at hand is being in a state of hypnosis and relaxing and being receptive and engaging the hypnotherapist's presentation, right? What they're offering you and how to guide you to that change of your experience. So of course you're not under control. Even playing along, sometimes people in the stage shows will kind of play along to it. That's for the fun. And even that is a bit of a hypnotic state, right? Because they're thinking a different way. They're doing something different than they normally would. So even just choosing to say, all right, I'm willing to be hypnotized. I don't know what it's going to be, and I don't even know if this is really, but if I play along, we'll see what happens. And often results will come about the same because a person's willing to allow the relaxation, allow the ease. And then, good suggestion and facilitation does the rest. Now, in regards to, again, safety and information, hypnosessions are completely confidential. If ever there's any information that needs to be referred out, there will be a proper documentation for such to make sure that all parties who need to know the information of a given client's specific and unique presenting issues are privy alone. And that would have to be, of course, signed by the client, because it is up to them whose business is their business. And thus, should there ever be any harm done to oneself or the direct awareness that might be a possibility, it would be at the requirement of the hypnotherapist to inform the proper channels in regards to someone who was apt to do harm to themselves or another and had explicit reason and plan or motive to do such. But barring that, you are completely able to share and have full engagement with your hypnotherapist in regards to things that you need to work on or would like to change in your life, and how best to reach that through open communication. And the big one, because what is hypnosis as a session, right? And it's one thing to say we have some idea of it, and we can have another to say that we've experienced it before. Yet, what is the session like? Because that, of course, is the unique experience of applying this tool. And essentially, it will be a process that looks much like this. You will contact and commune with your hypnotherapist, reaching out to have a free consultation, at least in the process of CHS. Some do charge for consultation, but most hypnotherapists will offer you a bit of their time, usually 10 to 20 minutes, to talk about your needs and to get a better idea of what it is that would best serve you and if their services are for you. Upon ascertaining what kind of program and talking to you about the details of such, you would start and set forth the date for your session, your first session. There would be some documentation that will, of course, have to be filled out and reviewed. And upon that being returned, the session would commence. With online sessions, there will be some setup. So you would have to make sure that you have a proper setup, a webcam that works, or some means of device to commune. But hypnosis really can be done over the phone. The visual aid is there as an assistant, but as long as the voice can be heard, a phone session is completely viable. So talk to your hypnotherapist about what you need specifically for your distance session, or if you're going into office, they will, of course, direct you therein. Once certain questions are asked and a profile is kind of built in regards to your needs again and how to best assist your presenting issue, the hypnotherapist will move into a process of getting you into the hypnotic state, where they will then facilitate, based on the specific presenting issue, a program or method to guide you into the desired goal or state of being that you've chosen. Now, sessions usually vary in terms of length, and of course, based on a person's individual needs, that may vary greatly as such, but many issues can be affected and interacted with just a few sessions. Like 1 to 3 sessions is definitely a common number for engaging hypnotherapy practices. And for more information on how the hypnotherapeutic process affects, and there are other contents in regards to CHS's library that I would highly recommend to you to check out, in that we go a little deeper into how hypnosis works, the impacts on the conscious and subconscious mind, and how to get the most out of your hypnosis sessions by self-hypnotic processes, as well as other means of engaging such as listening to guided tapes that have been offered through hypnotherapy, or even just creating that routine practice of affirming your goals and seeing the life that you would have be so. In regards to self-hypnosis, self-hypnosis is very similar. It's using the same tools that will be developed with a hypnotherapist. However, self-hypnosis is, of course, putting oneself into state, right? Putting oneself through allowing that relaxation and that consistency of focus to create a state of fixation or again, just focus on that which is desired. And this starts to be a process that can be done when trained in a matter of seconds, if not minutes. A very facilitating process that is easily accessible. All right. We have some more information again on self-hypnosis. If you haven't checked out our live self-hypnosis info sessions that are hosted often at the local Phoenix libraries, especially the Akasha Library and the Burton Bar. Those are beautiful libraries. Use your resources in the community. And if not, we do offer these online Q&As and information sessions just to connect and create a community that is beyond borders. So with that, just to see if there are any other questions that we have right now. Does not seem to be so. For the specifics of how do I get in contact with a hypnotherapist? How do I find the best hypnotherapist for me? Again, those free consultations. As a hypnotherapist, I offer 15-minute consultations, and you're welcome to check out our website, Crucial Holistic Services. You can find that link on the YouTube channel or down below. And it'll just let you get some information about hypnotherapy more directly in regards to what it is that you need and how that can best serve you. With Crucial Holistic Services, we're all about getting you connected with the resources so that you can make the decisions that best suit and benefit you. So with that, we have a few more minutes. So I'm just going to make sure if there are any other questions that burning questions that are coming up for such. I'm going to go over my list just to be sure. In regards of the logistics of hypnotherapy, do hypnotherapists accept insurance, accreditations of hypnotherapists? Uh, Definitely, when looking for a reputable hypnotherapist, look for their accreditations, look for their practice history, right? Get an idea of where they studied and learned, of course, and what unions and or uh, groups that they affiliate with therein. That is very important to kind of see, is this person continuously learning and practicing this craft so as to give you the best results possible. And in regards to insurance and payment, that will depend on every hypnotherapist that you work with, and what services they directly render. Again, I highly encourage, do it. Communing and just connecting with your local hypnotherapist, or one that you find online that you feel a connection to. Many of us are putting content out so that you can get a feel and a vibe for the presentation therein. And so you may already kind of know what works for you and what you're about. And so it makes it easy just to reach out and do that 15-minute consultation so that you can best know what serves you. And again, if you'd like to connect, feel free at Crucial Holistic Services and Crucial Holistic Network. It has been a pleasure to share some of the beautiful information regarding hypnosis and hypnotherapy. And if you have any other further questions, we will be releasing an edited, streamlined version of this video that will get those questions in a bulleted form so you can review it at your leisure. But we like to offer these live sessions to allow people a chance to connect in their day, in their now, in regards to this information. And of course, if they have those questions, to offer them a space to have them answered. So again, I'm Ryan Crucial, certified hypnotherapist and facilitator of Crucial Holistic Services. For further information therein, get connected, and we will be happy to commune soon. Until then, best of efforts in your psychonautic practices. Be well. Peace.